kind. If you couldn't do more, they didn't come for a sale more thing. The says, "No more share if you yourself and then I shall sell." Bibi a bisa dia or 2 and so, but then query no ya mine. A mother in come for a sale more thing. That was said down at the wood here, then you may sweat here. It's answer so, double yes to Christo Demonti. Amen.
We will kindly invite our sister Nadia to give us a song.
Today, I know that He is leaving, whatever man may say. I see His hand of mercy, I hear His voice of cheer, and just the time I need Him, He's always near. Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. In all the world around me, I see His love and care. And though my heart goes weary, I never will despair. I know that He is leading through all the stormy blast. That rain will come at last. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along the narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Rejoice, rejoice, O Christian, lift up your voice and sing eternal hallelujahs to Jesus Christ the King, the hope of all who seek Him, the help of all who find. So good and kind. He lives, and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know he lives within my heart. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know he lives within my heart. Amen.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, our sister. And so now your friend, Dr. Paul Yeboah, I'm gonna be the new health seminar, tema, Meridian conference, no. Or say says, Obi wo question be if you have any question to ask, you can send him a message and he is willing to answer you. Obi a wo asembise bia no ewo nansa dwumedie ya odi obetimi atro ama no obe answer questions ni nyina ano ama wo nti ye nyina yen kan hwe yen namfo na nyina yen tie yen Dr. Paul Yeboah. Thank you.
Yeah, Mama, I was a baby. Questions, no. My bomardina chasso, tia, and Cassane Bechasso. Ne ye jai, time, Mama, Ubia ope, question biana, bisan wafidieso. Na Senia Beya, near Naye Siano, a becayetim. And I said, Nora dear, and Nano dear Nina. Ye decline a bedasa for your horse, a humbamwa, what boyana. Yenina sa kwa beshiamu. Was it without me, no? You can do how much? Nothing. Ye travel free fear kuraba so damn hey, no. Was one kaya hua and your accident in tinky do not dum tina. Wajiji tata de abishia. Aha, and one a woofia, war tiano war. YouTube mune zoom sunina. Ya de asadamenyame. And that topic na diabetes na your topic here me pa. So we need more be our yarisa idea beer, but modern for paper ne pen. Na taking notes. I bet me up ni anasa wa we yaribia, but modern tea and carefully. And set here biano. Ya me be shall sapum. I'm wa prolong all life of kakra say. Near my yebishin. Umaneo some here. Send ye in an Doctor Bia ni we say our wardrobe for diabetes say me dey draw way what to mu ha kan katra so diabetes no betu ayira ne doctor for ya ne say one more control nkakra kopum say bekun wo utwu mutan so a e bekun and kan tete no na ye sikafo ya de na hiafo nyina nya bi kan tete no na ye fat people one ye modu kakra ya de. And then nipan kitchen in a be money ye. And tea may share my screen no na ye frase. Sir the pamucho muhuno reversing diabetes for screen or so. IT4 Bibia Kosokama. IT4 mon fime. May share screen no muhuno no more end the hall.
Dr. Mpachuani.
Sana ye per head the Mossibebre. Send ye di can no. diabetes is near dro. Bansun ye ne ye besuen. Utie ne carefully now practice. I will be to reverse diabetes completely. If he says, I idea no, TST. Abejimra ye ba United States, no. Now one was sobering statistics. We nipa or ha. Bie jinahwa. Emu baako ye diabetic. In 1960, 1 out of 100 people in United States was diabetic. 35 years later, the percentages have dropped to 50. Every 50 people walking on the soil of United States, one is diabetic. And it's becoming a worldwide statistics. In 2015, just past 2015, 1 out of 8 people in the world is diabetic. We nipan watchu biya jinawa emu baako ayare diabetes. And in 2015, 1 out of 3, 2050, 1 out of 3 will be diabetic. Complications of diabetes. If you're diabetic and you do everything that the doctor has told you to do, take your medicine on time, eat your food on time, go to bed on time, get your insulin shot on time, you have a 70% chance of having heart attack. No matter what you do, because of the excess sugar floating in your blood, you will die from heart attack. You have 8 times the chance of having a stroke. I said earlier, no doctor has any medicine to cure diabetes. They will give you enough medication to control it until the diabetes kills you, and it will kill you. If you're diabetic and do everything that the doctor tells you to do, take your medicine on time, the chances of getting your legs cut off is very, very high. In the United States, we cut 200 people's legs off every single day. Excuse me, because they are diabetic. So bubu mayura kwa na blade ni twa nan ya. Ekro no enguda so long as I see chire wo moja mu no. Awo hwa na wonan no blade twa no ye twa to atwene. Afọ hwa na ye twa ya no so engu. Ni ye twa up to your knee ato atwene. Na affected that wona ba kono. You have very high incidence of amputations. You have increased risk of kidney failure. Every single day, at least 200 people in the United States are put on dialysis. Their kidneys fail them completely and have to be on dialysis, even though the diabetic patient is doing everything the doctor has asked him or her to do. You have 80% chance of going blind. It's so interesting. So far, now the share will be our diabetic and nature. Efe part is a grapes ne etwetwa ho na moja gina mu na ichon ba ko pe pipe uchun mu tan wani babo. Wana ni abo bebre ne nam ka kwanche ni nyina diabetes na edi won them side the whole world 80% of nipa won ma ani abo nyina ye diabetics. We ye bema so increased risk of impotence. Diabetic patients, you know, as the time goes on, I didn't ma one cross a one beko kwanso. And so now one more year near doctor so one year biada. In America, diabetic patients in Kwa, any diabetic related complications, you know, 40% of the health budget. And yet, if you want them, trillions. Senya edi kanka in 2050, say Yankasa United States, every day be diabetes for the car by say $1 billion a day. 1 billion. 2050, it will be $2 billion a day, each day. Government benye sika say they are one group of people. One is a government who will throw their arms up in the air. So wow, we are diabetes no konenam homa enkum. If you say ubia nisika we spend $1 billion, $2 billion a day. A basic Ghana for us and nam nuane a yes sanunti. Saya de na to yesete e wo Ghana. So we are diabetic now we bribiara doctor say ya. Say nyame bo we say we are see ya wa bedi 11 years and san wo bedi say bia 70 years in wo etimi twa wonkwa na so by 11 years. We are bad there by 14 years. Now brofuka be quality of life. If you are diabetic and do everything the doctor asks you to do, you reduce your quality of life by 19 years. You will die 19 years earlier before your set time. And if you're a woman, you will lose 22 years. What is quality of life? If you're blind and you can't see where you're going, that is not quality of life. If you have stroke and you're laying in bed paralyzed, that is not quality of life. If your legs have been cut off and you're sitting in a wheelchair, that is not quality of life. That is what diabetes will do to you if you do not do something about it. If you continue to go to your doctor, take his medication or her medications and do everything exactly, this is what is in store for you as a diabetic. The whole world, diabetes send people, this is Amsterdam, Netherlands. Of all the other diseases that send people to the hospital, the blue ones are all diabetics. UK, diabetes sends more people to hospital than any other disease. Switzerland, Norway, Sweden, New Zealand, Canada, all over the world. The only reverse country is West Germany. And in Ghana too, diabetic-related diseases, if we don't do something about it, we will not have enough budget to control that. There are two types of diabetes. We have diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2. The type 1 used to be called juvenile diabetes or juvenile onset diabetes, usually used to affect younger children. There are several reasons why you can get that. Nowadays, people work indoors in offices and they don't get exposed to sunlight. Every single one of us, in order to get the ultraviolet rays to help you convert to vitamin D, the rays from the sun, together with your cholesterol, to convert to the vitamin D, which is essential. You need to expose your chest, your arms, your face, your neck to sunlight for about 20 minutes a day, 20 to 30 minutes a day. It is important to go out in the sun. Nowadays, most people stay indoors. Go to the garage, get in the car, go to the office, and stay in the office all day and come home in the evening. Don't come in contact with sunlight. And so most people become vitamin D deficient. When you're vitamin D deficient, the insulin cannot work well. It confuses the beta cells that produce insulin. But going back to type 1 diabetes, juvenile diabetes, if a mother has a baby, the mother produces breast milk. When the baby is hungry, gives him the breast milk. She is not only filling her stomach with the milk, but all the diseases that the mother had suffered in her life that didn't kill her but built immunity to it has been packaged in a special envelope, and it passes through the breast milk to the baby so that the baby will grow up with a built-in immunity to those diseases that didn't kill the mother. All mammals do that, human beings do that, and baby cow also get the same immunity from mother cow. But if you take a baby cow's milk and give it to a baby human being, sometimes the A1 protein in baby cow's milk is not well liked by the human immune system. Let us assume that the soldiers, the immune system that protect the baby, they see the A1 protein from a baby cow or mother cow's milk. And these A1 proteins, let us assume, have red caps. They wear red hat. And they will say, this is a foreign protein that doesn't belong to this baby. Let's go and attack it. The soldiers will turn their guns on the A1 protein and destroy it. It just happened that the beta cells that produce insulin for the baby also happen to have a red hat. This is an analogy. One day, one of the soldiers in the body will go around the pancreas and see these beta cells wearing red hat. They will shout to the other soldiers, those A1 protein people are still in the body. I see some of them hiding in the pancreas. Let's go and attack them. And the baby's own soldiers will turn their guns on the own baby's beta cells that will produce insulin for the baby and destroy them. So the baby will never again be able to produce insulin to protect itself and will die, usually will die quicker. They will live to 30 years, 40 years and die with all kinds of diseases. They will be diabetic throughout their lives. Thank God this kind of diabetes type 1 is not that common, but it is caused by the cow's milk that the mother gave to the baby to destroy her own beta cells. Mothers should be very, very careful. Today, we're going to talk about the 95% of diabetes type 2, which is caused by lifestyle changes, the way you sit, the way you eat, what you eat, the way you exercise. That is a very common diabetes. When can we say someone is diabetic? If you fast for about 12 hours and the next morning you check your blood sugar and the fasting blood sugar is above 126 milligrams, it means you are becoming diabetic. Or 2 hours after you have eaten any food that contains high level of sugar, prandial sugar for food, like bananas, it causes the blood sugar to go up. If they check your blood 2 hours after that and it's about 200, then you can consider yourself diabetic. Complications again. Diabetes have no medical cure. The doctors give you insulin, metformin, and all the various diabetic medications just to control the disease, make you happy until diabetes kills you. If you do everything that the doctor tells you to do, because of the excess sugar in your blood, you have 70% chance of dying from heart attack, 8 times the chance of getting a stroke, and you will get stroke. Increased risk of amputations, risk of kidney failure, or you can go completely blind. Recently, I was doing a case with one surgeon. We finished about 5 o'clock. He went home, I went home. He said, Paul, come early in the morning so that we start early. I was there very early in the morning. Where is my friend? He has gone completely blind. He was diabetic and didn't get the chance to learn what we are learning today. He woke up, couldn't see anything, both eyes gone blind. Diabetes will reduce your lifespan by 11 years and quality of life by 19 years. What signs and symptoms can you determine that this person or I am becoming diabetic? Oftentimes you will urinate frequently. Ukoka krabi na junso deo. Ghana de utim ko junso obi afichire. Ba wo junso ko wa obehunu se entetia no won makotwa junso no ho ahia won mahunu se asichire wo junso no. Won hia asichire no won madi. Nti nipa na nyare ye kora no onim se wo yare diabetes no. Ukọ na ntete atwa ne junso ho ahia na onim se wo be diabetic. Excessive thirst. Want you not succumb to. Want you not succumb to. Fatigue. Weight loss. Unya adwuma bi anso wudidi wen why say better. Eduru kakra na fe breath smells wo numbon kakra. Basa pampan no it is a paint thinner. I was special scent bi. Utanya frequent infections. Any symptoms are holding. This is what is happening. A comedy wabo who say no, I say bosa. Unya aduane di kakra pe na wo ho ayawdene. Aduane biada obedie say ye banku, say ye cocoa yache, say ye fruit, convert it into glucose. A dear blue way. Glucose no na cell no na ma energy to talk. Come do I want him cramp a jounce and now the hoboti said, Fundi D for bay weaker, untiminante papa. What is happening is that the food that you ate converted into glucose, and the glucose went inside the cell. And the mitochondria in the cell converted it into sugar to give you energy. But diabetic patients, the entrance to the cell has been blocked by some fatty tissue, and sugar cannot go through that fat into the cell. So the excess sugar flows through the blood day and night and spills over into your urine. You go to doctor's office, he says there's too much sugar in your blood. And then he said, give me a urine sample, spilled over from the blood into your urine. The best thing is if you're diabetic, you don't eat anything, because any food that you eat is going to convert into glucose. But diabetic patients, and I want you to understand this mechanism, there is insulin, nothing wrong with the insulin most of the time, except that the body cannot process glucose because the gate to the cell has been locked up. Let me see. every cell. There are about 50 trillion cells in the body. Nothing gets inside the cell because all of them have doors. God, in his mercy, put a door to the entrance of every cell so that nothing dangerous or good can get into the cell unless the cell opens the door for them. Look at this diagram. On top here is the pancreas that produces beta cells, which also give us insulin. And this is insulin. This guy, green guy standing here. Any food that you have eaten converts into glucose. Insulin is the only thing that will open this door, catch one of these glucose and throws him in. Once he puts him inside the cell has mitochondria here, a factory that will convert all the glucose. So long as a mitochondria wahana, insulin ni timi hine pononoa. Obesi sa glucose yina diagum. In diabetic patients, their cells don't have a door. There's plenty of insulin. There's plenty of glucose, but the insulin doesn't have a door to open to throw this glucose in there. And glucose cannot enter the cell without a door. Let's take this illustration also. This is 50 trillion cells in the body. Nothing can get inside the cell. There's plenty of glucose around. It's waiting for insulin to come and open the door. Let us assume this is the door and this is insulin, the key that opens the door. Wow. What's going on? This is the insulin that opens the door. Except that in diabetic patients, while they were away, some children came, chewed the chewing gum, and put it in the keyhole. And the chewing gum dried up. Diabetic patients, you know. And ankora bi baby chewing gum no one me be share open on safo no. Nti wo ba ya wo be hini safo no. Anam sa chewing gum no adry no nti wo de safo no hyem kora a wo ntimi ntan no. Safo no ne insulin. Eno na science for ka ha no. Cell no na wo hai. Insulin wo ho. Wo try so be ba be hini pono no. Ba obi di chewing gum ahyem. Chewing gum no eno ne fat. Yellow ones are moving. Nti asichire entimi nkosa enum. Ena aduro biada ni wiase a etimi yi chewing gum no free ho. Ba bia chewing gum no free bani. Ebi free fish mu, ebi free nantwem, ebi free akokom, ebi free oil mu. It could be olive oil, whatever. Oil biada, butter biada, margarine biada. In diabetic patients, you know, idea ayan no. A cocoa shed a quanum chingum intimi hine. We na akokwa 23% of it yes idea. Lean beef, fish 52%, salmon, olive oil 100%. We are diabetic. Untimi handle sanye. And then abrofwa to ni din intramyolar cellular lipid. Nitia ne say chingum. Anase a dintintin na say fat. Fat na kwa kwashe doki nti wo tennis afo na enye ye. Nti wuntimi hine pono no. Ema insulin no muram. I mean glucose no muram. Insulin wo ho. And so obi di chingum abesi pono no amana say. The only thing is say obey chingum no free ho. Insulin no be hine pono no say. Nen ye besuana e be kire okwana obetimi asfa so yi chingum no easily. Any ya tane chewing gum no ni yi sade ne free ho no na kwano ahine no insulin de meka baba bewuram duduo bia da bewura say no mbokiti makora the body can process it. And the can has said there is no medication that will make doors for the cells. And I said, be massa for an year, Juma. Ye betchrem near my bit me ama sen aye Juma na hine. Nyamia design your body in I say, Adriani bia ye bedi and only 10% na nye fat. It is any a woozy dine. Whatever. Breaks no. And only protein, a timmy build it. A down de cosro. Energy, electricity, a wadam hono, and no carbohydrates. Fat no new garage. John qua won penny in our quan walk to actually a garage ho. A diania obedience as idea or more. Only 10% should consist of fat. So broswa. The acani in our good garage, near cause problems. A dow beniano, wako fat. Beef ya woody instead of say 10% na year 29. Chicken instead of say 10% na year 23. Fish prekwa 32%. Tuna 16%. Ni na bro required fat here for diabetics. Na sa wo ya diabetica pese wunya excess fat ya bekwa akokrogo cell no pono. Broccoli, only 8%. You are below the 10% and you mention share. Beans, only 4%. Brown rice, huebe 5%. Still below the 10% and you may require your body to untimi mfabin koto garage ho. Untimi nya extra fat be urase no akokrogo do nobono. Aduane a ubenya extra fat wo mu no ayenuane efiri animal source. Say ya fish. Say ya anoma. Aduane bia wo maame. Aduane bia wo ani. Aduane bia free animal source. It contains saturated fats. And non na kokosi chewing gum no kwan doki adino. Entimi masi chirenko umojamu. And I say trans fats and nokoa and yanan. And the saturated fats woman bini. So ufa na enchinami or whatever nam na wo charcoal broil and ochina yabeka huasem. What de tintinka charcoal I hope ufa 2 pounds na wo we. Uchako broil we now tenas now we yene 1 fidie so be berebeti mawe 2 pounds of tintinka. 20 minutes later, your draw blood, it will be equivalent of you smoking 600 sticks of cigarette in one setting. The benzpyrene, the cancer-causing agents. But never mind the benzpyrene, the cancer-causing pattern, saturated fat. We are diabetic. Aduane from animal source will clog the cell doors and will allow sugar to flow through your blood. And kokofuni nyina adwuma wo no ya no. Na no na Alaska ho wonum nima de friend diabetes kopem say wonum ko ho say ye America for ko ye pipeline the oil no free Alaska ho aba south ha na wonum be use wonum kro ye the hamburger kosi ho ye the asichire kosi ho the ice cream ko and ne Alaska for ni nyina ewu with diabetes. Ghana hana diabetes in Norson or China ye behuno. Say KFC buy ye gusu say kro any hamburger ye be wuti san kokomba. China and Japan there were only 18 cases of certain cancers in Japan. In United States now there was 40,000 ratio. The beer China benya kwan chere no. Kopem say KFC call ho Kopum say Burger King, hamburger koho. And the one many America pepe. One so dear Kurasu won Ruaho P. Ya one the fair hospital or Japan. Yan hospital I am, and so you see a biddy sanuani. A yaka crab in ye get use to sanuania, no one say a bayarea, yen ya wondro. Nuania, a de fat, and the sadie, excess, at the bar, yamojamu, na echo ye chungama, a clock keyholes, and my aquine, and my yenya wanted here. And the FN hay. If he said, Ochina Yamayad my betimia, Quania sanuani faso metabolizing. Your friend a trans fats, but near me each munina be anywhere dangerous, send a movie. Milk, cheese, ice cream, yogurt, be BBB a friend of dairy products. A far more deadly, chain nam up beada, ubepe, and then nokwa dear win so. Yet the manquarana no one Timuya won the sa no one mugusu. Sanuani, and until a quantity a barber which had now 1 in 100 people, and they are diabetic, and they're 1 in 8. If it's a sabre, no one montonus are fast food. Now the way I want processes sanuani near my own the can, and they come nipa 1 in 8. Abia one day who call $1 billion to $2 billion a day. Ghana, ye was asikana. And we are not bang and a betima boamwa reverse diabetes. Be biada all animal products. A diania would debaqua wabacondiasha wanumuno should not consist of animal products. Eliminate vegetable oils, corn oil, and olive oil, whatever oil. So we are diabetic now per se unya hodina. Use food as your medicine. Yensanko in detail kakra. Eat plant food. Eat it whole. For example, 1 tablespoonful of corn oil will take 15 ears of corn to produce 1 tablespoonful of corn oil. Yen such a demand for any idea broba viasi. Ye cry intimate nothing with 15 ears of corn in 1 setting. And Tino was say, eat plant food and eat it whole. If he said, and yet processed food and yet highly concentrated, watching near ma, we use more than 1 tablespoonful of oil, which takes 15 ears of corn. Juba chibe, we know where you should be 40, 50 ears of corn. So obedidia, eat plant food, eat it whole. Unya 1 toffee candy bar. It takes 30 feet of sugar cane to produce the sugar in 1 candy bar. Yemu one ya jaws bit me atenasi with 30 feet of sugar cane. The advice from Heaven's headquarters: eat plant food, but eat it whole. Ghana and Riane ahodo and in the caloric intake yenya frimu 1,000 calories, 2,000, 3,000. Yenya wafidi sunyana ye fruit betima hold 4 ounces of food. Say ye mo, say ye fufu, say ye banku. Wa fruit said ye ne abeyama. Sa amount to a befill stomach and say ye nkontomra and as a lettuce and as a vegetables a new 100 the calories akura. Fruits still new 1,000. Beans, potatoes, white rice or brown rice, grains, the maximum will be 1,000 calories. Oko chicken, wouldn't 4,000. Oko beef, wabro the required amount or so. Oko olive oil, wabro so much allowance or so. Let your food be as close to the natural one, not the processed food. Be as close. So oko grocery store, stay close to the natural produce section. Nyame na share that color may be a red, be a green, be a yellow. Ni nyinaa ye nro na wode agumu. Ochina nyame pa ye behunu anuane mu ni ebeboa yen. Let your food be as close to the natural one as possible. And kotna kra more to do grocery shopping in these processed foods. It will kill you faster. It will make your diabetes get out of control. 1 out of 4 of 4-year-olds in America is obese because you say, in your near demand one processed food. Say, these young children will be the first generation who will die before their parents. If they say, we call 4-year-old kindergarten in nursery schools bebre, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and your children are geared to die before you because they are eating more processed food. Another damage that prepares you for diabetes is sitting still, lack of exercise. In the United States, the state of Mississippi has more diabetics, and they also have more obese people. If we say they all sit still, gain more weight. And that's why that state has more diabetics. Sedentary life will kill you. The only thing that will help you to make doors so that the insulin, which is in abundance, can open the door for the cell is one thing. It's not only food, it's not only plant food, but walking. Any one of us who walks, and let's go back. You walk 40 minutes a day for 5 days a week, and you will reduce your diabetes by 50%. If you are on insulin, you can shift to some tablets and possibly to diet control by walking 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, because you'll be able to make more doors. And the insulin which you have in abundance will be able to open the door and throw the excess sugar into the cell. By walking 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you will reduce your chances of diabetes by 50%. If you have high blood pressure or any weak heart or stroke, walking 5 days a week, you can reduce your prostate cancer by 43% or by 46%. Make a health message you were London, Reading. Dr. B. Frame was a menya SDN, Madame Fubi, free Reading or Mammy, Bebeti and Master Moho. I have been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Niema ochre say yenye, me cause ye, and it says my tested positive from 3 times. I don't need the radiation. Na me frau na madawase. Or prostate cancer, or breast cancer, or stomach cancer, or whatever, or high blood pressure, by walking 40 minutes, 5 days a week, you can reduce your chances tremendously. We can cut the number of diabetic cases by 50% by walking 40 minutes a day. We can cut more than 50% of our chances of stroke, heart attack, and various cancers. London, one buses and any underground subway trains, Yeah, na quantity of Bajimra near Coho School and Passitia ticket, Dear Tim Hurutna train Musa. To one more train conductors. Boss see ya na conductor na ba we ticket for him. Ye ni a yan to ticket no achi. One of my studies be say usually drivers no ne conductors no Jamaica no one mo free. One me na did the same food. One me baby and yet the bus drivers were dying from heart attack 3 times more than the conductors. Because the drivers just sit still and the conductors are walking up and down. Women who walk regularly may cut their chances of breast cancer by 43% and 1/3 of bowel cancers. Men who walk regularly can reduce their prostate cancer by 46%. London Reading, Panyini Koi, some panyinfo no baako. Me call her na COVID ni gyina mu paa. Ɛna wɔka kyerɛ me sɛ mede asɔre sika ɛkɔto bank. Me si a mentimi nante. Ayɛ sɛ me heart, obi asɔ me heart no mu na wɔkyinkyim ne saa. Nka menya abere a nka mefrɛ no a ma ne bɛka bi kyerɛ mo. Ɛna meka sɛ me yare so so obi bɛba bɛhwim asɔre sika no ama asɔre abɛ bɔ me sɛ madi wɔn sika. Me mia me de kɔto bank wie ɛne wɔn bo a me ma me kɔfa me ka de kɔ fie. The next morning, I decided to walk 1 mile with COVID. No one knew he was coming down with COVID. And then he tells me, say, I'm walking 10 miles every day. Diabetics, if we were so Yeboah wonum kan one free nura one fasten insulin. By walking 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you can reduce your blood pressure, your heart problems, and your cancers. And most importantly, your diabetes. Walking and exercise and to make the chewing gum, abroko, open to be removed. Send ye by insulin and one betting. Even a very fat patient, they don't have much chances for many diseases, for high blood pressure, for cancers, and so on and so forth. Yet, if the patient is obese and he exercises, he has better chance on life than a skinny person who sits still. Walking creates natural fever and improves immune system. Yeah, nyabre in core details in If we say a jabre for exercise. Increase stroke volume. Where or Madame Fubi. No one pay exercise. His heart rate was 80 beats per minute. He joined us exercising every morning. I generally walk 4 miles every morning. And I am still in my mid-80s. After 6 weeks, his heart rate had reduced to 60 beats per minute, which means he has saved 20 beats per every minute. If you do the mathematics, in 1 day, he has saved 28,000 heartbeats every single day. Increase the stroke volume means, let us assume there is a flood and your basement is flooded. You can remove the flooding by using a pail or a bucket rather than to use a cup. When your heart beats with big stroke volume, you can pump more blood to the body than if your heart rate is just quivering. 100 beats per minute, 80 beats per minute. Athletes who exercise more, some of them have 40 beats per minute. The heart beats stronger, but has more time to rest. Lose significant weight. If you lose 60 pounds for 1 year and you keep it off for 1 year, your diabetes will disappear completely. Lose significant weight. Women will cut the chances of breast cancer by 50%. If you have mental condition, depression, or anxiety, na say utirimu kan okora, adura doctor for the ma one mental challenges, aduro biara ni ho a compare with walking. So sabe ubako asylum, ako sisa nurama wonum, get them to walk. Wonum produce endorphins. Yeah, timibua wonum to get rid of their depression and as mental challenges are one more. You don't have to walk all the 40 minutes. So we need time. Now, so when your time open your time, so will come. Which you check 40 minutes in the 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, even better. But if you can walk for 1 hour, especially one at no, there is no reason. Senses a walk of fresh air. Harvard University came up with these studies. Do these things, and 91% of your type 2 diabetes will be removed. Don't eat any animal fat, whether it's meat, whether it's milk, cheese, egg. If it's a those saturated fats, you better done chewing gum. Intramyocellular lipid, no, tin na one can near one can say a dani chewing na kokro keyhole. No. Don't eat, eat food which is rich in fiber. Actually, I can't want some. Don't add either vegetable oil, so we are diabetic. Whether animal oil, vegetable oil, butter, or margarine. Use food as your medicine. And then eliminate stress. And fadwendwene and hawadwene. Nansane, 1 year studies be were Boston. One for 5,000 nurses. And now one de capre. They took a sample from the cheek, the saliva there, and measured their immune IgA. If these nurses get a contact with a patient with COVID, what is their chances of coming down with the disease? The immune system. And then they gave them 5 minutes after they've measured their immune system. Said, we'll give you 5 minutes. Think of any incidents that somebody did to you, an unpleasant experience. How your boyfriend or girlfriend show you, or show woman a show pa. Would this come out be so consider what a mama or boo faso? Would this come out be bushia was so won't you? Think of an unpleasant experience for 5 minutes. 5 minutes in this room, and they rang a bell, and then measure their immune IgA again. And for thinking of unpleasant experience for 5 minutes, they measure their IgA every 15 minutes for 5 hours. And consistently, some nurses had dropped their immune system by 70%. Which means he says, will be with COVID, you know, he will catch it. Ochina ABI talk about what are things that you can do to improve your immune system. Diabetes, you can come down with it if you don't have strong immune system. If you don't sleep enough, 7 to 8 hours, you will end up being diabetic also. And then cut down the stress, but exercise. Harvard School of Public Health, lose significant weight. And yes, Mississippi for no. Reduce body mass index to below 25. What is body mass index? Go to Google, it will tell you how to calculate it. But this is the simple method here. All right. If your weight is 150 pounds and your height is 63 inches, divide the weight by your height and you will get this answer, 2.3. Multiply the 2.3 by 700. This is an arbitrary figure. And this is the answer you will get. Then divide the answer again by your height, 63, and your body mass index will be 26.4. You need it to be at 25. So body mass index, you're higher than 25, you are preparing to come down with diabetes, with heart problems. Me, na me de 18 ni 20s more. Kopum sa me call retirement na me nye say it's still below 25 there, but it's shooting up there. Every single one of us should go home and calculate your body mass index and get it below 25. Eat natural food and eat it whole. Yet, Accra Mall, shopping mall, unnecessary shopping. Get your food from the natural source as much as possible. When you go to grocery store, stay on the fresh produce. Nyame nim senti a penti ade nyina different colors. Enro wompa. If you go to first grade school and you ask them what vitamins or what can we get in orange, they'll say, oh, vitamin C. They've got an A. You go to university and ask the same question, and the university students tell you, we get vitamin A from orange. I mean C from orange. That is F. They fail. One orange contains at least 150 phytochemicals that the Lord has put in there to heal all kinds of diseases. When you peel an orange, so wo juanka, no white no skin no, it is a very potent breast cancer treatment agent. The 150 known phytochemicals in one orange, and every single one of them has a certain disease that it kills. God in his mercy has put these useful foods, medicine of all sorts in these foods for us to eat our food naturally. Yeboah Institute, Nanseng. Me with one kidney. After 80 years in a kidney is my breath. I can't work anymore. The young girl who's taking care of my kidney problem here in Dallas is the head of the department of that hospital. And UT Southwest has more Nobel Prize winners in one building than anywhere else in the world. They are sharp doctors. She did everything she could and gave me the best medicine she could until the kidney decided that he's not going to go any further. So he called me and said, Paul, come, let's put you on dialysis machine. I said, no way. There's no dialysis machine in Sechadumasi. So maritime person coffee, how am I going to get one? Instead of going to her, I went to Adventist Center Yeboah Institute. When I got there, my blood pressure was over 200. They took all my medicine, the best medicine from the Nobel Prize winner, and put it in the garbage. And they told me, you're going to do 3 things at this Yeboah Institute. You're going to walk 4 miles a day. You're going to drink 4 liters of water a day. Drink 4 a day. And you're going to eat pure plant-based diet. I have been a vegetarian most of my life. And conconsa vegetarian mo bebre ye bi no unya kosua no adi unya America no adi one no aksan ko cheese wo so ye vegetarian wo do car to reverse na wo ko heaven. This time they say you're going to eat plant-based diet, you're going to walk 4 miles a day, you're going to drink 4 liters, threw all my medicine in the garbage. I'm catching a doctor and say, "Ukasa me batna, you don't have no stroke. One them back out massy. Mean federal no ma. Mama half. Nam keep half. Was it keep half? For a black male, the kidney function, the GFR, is cut off at 60. Made the annual conform to 20. Not just some here dialysis. The tia say for just over 2 weeks of walking 4 miles a day, drinking 4 liters of water a day, and eating plant-based diet. GFR no rises to 65. 60 is the cutoff. Those 3 things. And I bomb who buy and can me that dialysis also. So can you. Bram me wohono a branch whereby 58-year-old man has type 2 diabetes. He's almost 400 pounds. High blood pressure. A1C diabetes was 12. A1C no aduane a wadi no bosome miensa nyina doctor for no twumoja wonu behunu se wachiti anasa wunchiti. The norm should be about 5 or no need the 12. What the metformin so to say ye mo bebre da so or blood pressure medications so. After 18 days, he had lost 16 pounds. 6 months later, he has lost, his weight has reduced from almost 400 to 268. A1C is 5, back to normal from 12. Plant-based diet. Yenyina di aduane baako, yenyina what same cafeteria. Meyi aduane no photo achira mo achire. The tia say after the 9 months of doing that, his diabetes was completely cured. And he had lost significant weight. 1 year later, his blood pressure is only 118. A1C was still 5. And the weight has reduced from 300 to 240. Entirely different person. Cafeteria near DDN. You go there, everything is plant-based. Salad, cucumbers, olives, bananas, all kinds of nuts. And you fill your plate. My plate, photo. These are avocados. Ufa we kakra no afa we kakra wafuru say kakra ka wame. These are the kind of food that you do, potatoes, some kind of rice, whatever. Diabetic patients, kidney patients, heart patients. With this plant-based diet, ya mo free say to tree, wunhianam. Way energy mean kwande me wo GFR of 65 a me day. Me call her Dr. Wilson, over 2 doctorate degrees. When you massive stroke will be wo. Ama nipa wo be any funeral, chofwa always here no, ya fly no amanaba. Ni bat girl na peja no de ba wima ho, me kotono ho. Na while stroke no on your right side a paralyzing on Jiminkasa. Doing those 3 things, drinking water and eating plant-based diet, and trying to exercise, paralysis has reversed, and he was running 7 miles a day. Cardiac hill, people be a friend of cardiac hill. Dr. Watson was able to climb it. You can eat your way back to health. We are diabetic, and that's how we are kidney patient. I want you to listen to this lady. Now,
hello, my name is Dr. Brooke Goldner, and I'm a board certified physician, and I am specialized in disease reversal using nutrition. Now, before I ever became a doctor, I actually was a patient. I was diagnosed at 16 years old with lupus. I had stage 4 kidney failure. I had blood clots that caused mini strokes. I endured years of chemotherapy and steroids just to survive. Now, all I've ever learned never helped me with my health. It was always about survival. I did 3 years of genetic research at Carnegie Mellon. I went to medical school. I was chief resident, and yet I still needed medicine to survive. 12 years I was sick. And then 15 years ago, I changed my diet to a plant-based diet. I got rid of dairy, no animal products, and within 3 months, the lupus was gone. I have been healthy for 15 years with no sign of disease. I've had children, and I've dedicated my life to this. And over the past decade, I have helped thousands of people reverse lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, diabetes, heart disease, #1 killer, all by getting them to stop eating meat and dairy and eggs and focus on vegetables and high nutrient plant foods. And the results are consistent and they are profound. As a doctor, my colleagues can attest to the fact that we are chasing down an epidemic of disease that we cannot hope to catch up to or overtake because people are getting sicker with every meal they eat. But you can make that difference because people don't know who to trust. But if the dietary guidelines say that people should be focusing on a plant-based diet full of vegetables and fruits, and they should be limiting or eliminating meat and dairy and eggs, they will have at least the right information to start making better decisions. Listen, both as a doctor that is desperately trying to save lives, and as a former patient who has almost died many times because I didn't have this information, I beseech you to take this seriously. This decision about what's recommended to the public about what they eat should not be based off of what's good for industry. It should be based on what's good for human health. And there are people who are suffering and dying right now from the lack of this information. So I ask you to take that seriously. The literature is clear, and the results we see are true. When you eliminate meat, dairy, and eggs, people's health gets better. So please recommend a plant-based diet. Encourage people to limit or eliminate animal foods so that you can save lives. Please help me with this mission. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your attention.
Why a doctor with Drubia, the best medicine in the whole world, of Farnesa for 12 years. And so in Timiamuana, Wajai and Namuye. And that was it for 15 years. Me had the lupus, autoimmune disease, Nahoye. Obiada wafi DSU. Now we are diabetes and also winning mobia or Yaribia, but more than Nabuan. We need to make a change. Me di masa mo baby, you know. Mommy uncle here Deuteronomy ha. Was it for this commandment which I command thee today? It is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that thou should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Deuteronomy say, but the word is very near unto thee. It is in your mouth and it is in your heart that thou mayst do it. 1500 pusumi pa. See, I'm setting before you today life and death. Nyame say, minim sense my ye can be back to their refrigerator, kofan ponchin noawi, kofan nam noawi. No was some nemfia ko jina ho said, Doctor, me yare diabetes na boa me. Was it, I'm setting before you this day life and death. I'm calling upon the whole of heaven and the earth to come and be a witness the choice you make. Set here biada Bible so make a choice. But the most importantly, Seventh-day Adventists have been chosen by God as a peculiar people with a peculiar music, with a peculiar message, with a peculiar lifestyle. And you might attend different churches and you can. He has made them his representatives, ambassadors. He has made them his representatives and has caused them to be ambassadors for him in the last work of salvation, the greatest wealth of truth ever entrusted to mortals. The most fearful warning ever sent by God has been given to Tema West Conference. Not for your own health, but the health of the people in your community. Was to say, if the children of Israel had obeyed the rules of health, there would never have been a sick person amongst them. If Tema West Conference will now make a change and obey the rules of health, there will never be a sick person amongst them. Yade adoma hodo bebre nam kwan so ba. But Revelation says, because you have obeyed my word, I will also protect you from the great time of trouble which is coming upon the earth, the people of the earth. Nyame no ana ahyebo. Enam se ne me ka kire wo wudi sunti. Yade ebe shake the whole world. Mframa boni ebebo no, me so me hyebo se me protect. Ono nyame moye. Na ne yesuen ye mfa moye tamo. Ye beja 15 more minutes. Now will be what question be a what bisa on this topic here you're discussing. Now you can help her. You bet me the year. And the more sibibre. I eat for me the basic ha. I eat for yeah, na hino one makote.
Hello.
Aye. What you mean?
Hello, doctor. Doctor, me wa question kakra, doctor.
Okay. Be saying.
Yo, yeah, that's it. One church out there, my nana me pese me busa kakra. Plant-based. Na yes, you say you na balanced diet. Minim say be a plant ni bi hono ya na tanya protein. We see we should abstain from animal protein. But apart from beans, no. You other source of betting protein and oil so see free. So how do we get a balanced diet from plant-based diet? So with me I'm saying in order to achieve a balanced diet.
Nanchie wo hoi hina akoe no wo na moni wo so no hwana ne ho odene. Where does he get his protein from? Say anya hahan no ni protein a wo de ne tia ne se ko Google wo plant different plants a yeah wo protein yeah beans no mkora side plant nkoa na tim produce protein ano abo biada ne ho a what him fa amino acids wo emu no wo convert into protein. Protein wo wiase nyina plant ne produce nyame na design sa na nantwie no akwa na wo akwaji nantwie ne de second hand. Kochina bebo modern say be chirichiri mo. But ne tia ne say wo Google mankani, bayere, emu, protein biada nipa hiano. There's more than enough from plant-based diet. Near a free animal source in second hand. Now body cannot use it right. But modern search now.
Doctor.
Okay, but that's it. Yeah.
Hello, doctor.
Koso meti wonka.
Me person bisa some kakra and say okay we be say fish and animal product be any why. Na ensem bi amatete kakra na person busa hu no kure. On say ba say fish and I say animal product o person wudi na oho a. Emu srade ni nyina ebetumi atwempre mu no kure ni sen.
Anya very like anya no kure. That wo ya na watwe mu srade ni nyina afi ho. One anya no kure. Enna ochina nyame pa ebesua bribi. Nye se srade no nko na ye more dangerous. Ade ba ko pe enna wo wiase a etimma cancer cells grow ene nam ho nsuo se wa ho nam no se wa fa no fresh wo di sigya so na nsuo go ho na no awie a nsuo na egu ho no eno nko na ma cancer grow wo di so cancer so it is a fertilizer nti nye fat nko na ye dangerous wo nam wie mo ochina adesua no be ye very useful but modern cell baba. IT for one my was or them one better than it may be supposed.
Eto de bia oko hospital cry prescribe say corinam. Na de eto sumienu de wo kan beberebe yi. Emra so senka Adventist mi bi say food clinic. Na sa nnuama nyina no ebi wo ho. Ebeboa ama yankra asem akọ. Ebeboa ama heaven kokro wan so abasa so. Iso oko hospital I think me a woman afa efura on bewo bai apemfo no na ya chura ma on say prescription say onko to yin sawa oni nam we akwala no be kakraka okra na obre tie no so obe kan say na fe the second one center e betimi e bi health clinic food clinic sani yin na say e duro bi eni we say ade e duro na na eduane anyame di amaye no Timpacho, the bending.
And a doctor chose a corinam. Doctor no ankasa, medical school or co in 1 semester pet and or day nutrition. Bisana. So on what base? A one man noa ye kumumwa. And pharmaceutical companies na sika I designed the medical school curriculum association a very deep subject. Senior beya one beton and nearma at the amaye, which not near may be a betting able boss will deal with cancers. 3 months out of the 6 years in medical school, none were there nutrition during the first year. Most of the nutrition information I want at the time no one most school they didn't study it. To watch Robbie be the man say kokoyu namwa. First of all, no, and yet accurate. Secondly, a number anywhere produce proteins, a protein or person winya. The best protein source if we plant source. As what you say, kokoyu vegetables, whatever. A woman say meat were 8 essential amino acids, but nano meat no yet that safe. And chemicals are who do ye do races sa uncle corner to send their first day and ye timaka. Yeah, we will deal with that tomorrow. Yen we are no betting yama and tiasiaba. Koreanam no and yet the solution of our problems. Yeah, who said Namuiano and the cause of most of our problems. Diseases in the cancers in England. China babon tofa yamiadman. And health food centers now can anything nearby. Send nearby more health and temperance department. Best set up classes. Nipani be brave, pesa wonum be jai nami, but wonim kwan of us young kwan. Macom, ye mine be fear, warrior vegetarian kwan. No answer, she say she sooner. beans no twa kwatafan saa no what they be so what in china to say vegetarian kwan ni amane de ye dene yes churches no betre the proper ways of preparing breakfast or china nyame ya adoma ma fama maybe from England Mama Esther yeah will betre how to prepare some vegetarian meals but health and temperance department should be able to organize cooking classes.
Doctor, the next question I'm say, you need natural food. Now there are some oil that you need natural food, which is coconut oil, palm kernel oil. And we say, how do you reconcile that? Is it good for consumption? And I said, it's a fried one in your account.
And tropical oils, it's palm oil and coconut oil. There is still strong debate. Can't it no mean believe tropical oils, but mahunu near coconut oil can do. Yeah, so we go slow on these things. Studies are being made, but and nam said was saturated the oils and do it in moderation, including olive oil. One say me and one no one course chunga made the olive oil. It is the best of all the oils, but also in moderation. Until coconut oil and now say palm oil, do it in moderation. So we are diabetes. Now person will cure. Use food as your medicine. That is not the time ubetumi asesa coconut oil ne palm oil, therefore we diane. But when you wouldn't. Now in the maintenance dose, we dear bank one kakra can one I said some oil that I can't want. I don't see anything wrong with it. Do it in moderation. Including olive oil.
Doc, I'm say my question is and who say and answer idea who hear you pa. And business say machines are horror. Every treadmill and the machines they use no fear. Can we replace the work with those machines? Instead of going out to work, we can use those machines.
And nekwana ye faso see dan furniture wo ho no. My main back off. So we call a big hotel or Accra. When you say in the middle of the hotel lobby, one might see water fountain. And then Siona Springer, what they are trying to say, they say, it's in Siomuna or such a demacia. Yes, in Siomuna idea, no one might jai for Mukono on Martinafi near Wofu Fordy. Siona and Munano, a change positive ions, no, a surrounding. So be katanani. Now now close to that person. Won huno. So was one general. Iron barrier be surround here. We break it into that one. Negative ions, say we call north during the winter time. Nam from mebo. Nam when some from mano spins the kwa. In Sweden, one more year operation could have said one who is a wutcha nipa will bleed. In China, one friend Chinook wins. One man a manipa jone say, bra, heat no adorson, na positive ions no a surrounding no a breaking no. A manipa behavior ye basa. And into na hotels no, sa. And near Manesis or fountain, and Manipana to me relax. It will be our Overtona hotel for holiday for 2 days. It me man relax it to send Nipa and Shiamuna, and Manipa ye happy. At me Manipa ye near maybe pray. Near my plastics are ye de furnish ye damusin, and destroy negative ions no, at me my relaxing, absorb it me disrupting. So person exercise. Now we have the benefit from it. 20 minutes exercise on treadmill at home. Any 20 minutes, the same intensity exercise outside. The benefit from outside is about 10 times more. And negative and positive ions are fresh air. and especially when I'm mpoano as rochine babo na petin nsuo no a change atmospheric adie no and man yet to send a chinook winds no ba nti say the benefit for exercise is better outside than inside for the same intensity of exercise. Loma Linda, yes, our researching. One more for young girls, come. And one more for member say, more tennis. Bra girls no cheer more up. One movie near Chunwo Moja near measure endorphins. Endorphins near cocaine, nyame dear gui, musaranopa, now conanti, now bana wood take a shower. Obehese, Oboshema, Obehese, when yaji now wotonium. And yet, Nanti and Ma were Nigeria, but what produce endorphins or cocaine? Young Korea fan. And sa cocaine level drew baby and echo winter dissolve cholesterol no honor. The more you exercise, the less cholesterol deposits a mojana flow well. The same in Korea, you measure one endorphins. And yes, I do one called basement. Girls be anyhow. Yes, more tennis at the same intensity. One endorphin measurement was so poor. If you say, bra, one more tennis outside and not my airborne, say now one more chair, one map, one me happy. So they produce better endorphins. Walk or exercise in NASA Wusugu Yamwa. Obey exercise at my fifth referee said, you won't get the benefits as much. Ain't it? A yes or by exercise outside. A yes or when you wear it and as a wukunu beko na more corner ni gym, you will produce better endorphins. A chance what's your basement and now we not treadmill so. Yeah, you can see her. IT for more. Kwajo, adeɛ na ɛkɔ so.
Hello, doctor. Yɛda nyame ase sɛ wode saa nkyerɛkyerɛ nyame nam so na wode nkyerɛkyerɛ wei abrɛ yɛn. Ebiem nso yɛda yɛn viewers nyinaa so ase ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo so de ɔmo mmoa ata akyire. Na dwumadie no ɛtoa so. Ɔkyena nyame yɛ adom a doctor bɛka bibi afa cancers ɛho kokoramyare ɛho. Nti yɛbɛyɛ encourage obiara sɛ ɔbɛjoin yɛn ɛwɔ yɛn Facebook, YouTube, ɛna Valley View Radio so bɛyɛ encourage obiara sɛ ɔjoin na asafoma no nso yɛbɛyɛ encourage obiara sɛ ɔmfrɛ outsiders nso na ɔmo join yɛn sɛnea ɛna yɛhu no no wowɔ questions biara after doctor ne program no yɛbɛbie phone line ato so wobɛtumi abisa question biara wopɛ sɛ obisa biara obɛyi ano ama kama ɛda mo nyinaa ase. Ebremu yɛbɛfrɛ yɛn sɔfoɔ Kefas na ɔbɛbɔ mpaeɛ ama yɛn na yɛde dwumadie no aba na wie yɛn.
Yeboah mpaeɛ. Asafo Awurade onkyene honam nyina eba. Edi asede ni kabea na ema wodi wakonya so nkwa na wodi ma yɛn. Yɛde wase pa yɛn ɛwɔ enkaake wasa aka yɛ biem. Yɛsra hode yɛ betim dia yo. Yɛgye yɛn ho ahyɛ wo nsa. Yɛde opani a wodi anim nso ɛhyɛ wo nsa o. Adagye do som de tie nyame andwedwe ho. Nda se yɛ de wo kɔkɛ. Ne mu yɛde ɛyɛ adwuma. Asobi na kopon wansa te wɔ nim kyerɛ yɛn. On was some entire so. The Shire. Ye could they pay us no boy home. A dear chia, my establishment will be about yes with you. Amen. Yo, Edabonias on your mention.
Miss Pa.